Hey gems, welcome back to my channel. We've got another exciting video. I'm so excited for this one. Hope you are too. I know it's a bit of a touchy subject matter, but we're going to dive into it anyway. So if you're new here and you do enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and also hit the subscribe button as well. And let me know your thoughts on this video down in the comment section as well. But yeah, let's just jump right into Tadai
on this mind-blowing video posted by Officially Urban. I've talked about him in the past. Make sure you give him a follow on Instagram. There's no words for this video. I'm just gonna have to play it for you guys. Let's get into it.
For a woman to be in love with someone and cheat, or is there something gone wrong? Is there something there? And also, have you guys ever cheated?
Okay. Yeah, I've cheated. I've actually prolifically cheated.
Wow.
Yay!
My baby father, actually.
Oh,
so,
yay!
Prolific. Prolific, you know. Fam. I love new words, so let's see. So prolific, it probably has something to do with pro. So she's a professional cheater. Let's see. Prolific. Prolific. Of a plant, animal, or person producing much fruit or foliage or many. Okay, is that what it means? Present in large numbers or quantities. Should she blow in her back several times? Okay. My girl really used the word. Is that really something to be? It's like a badge of honor. I am a prolific cheater. Wow. Anyway, we're only a couple of seconds in and Jemima's excited. Let's keep going.
Ronaldo.
yeah.
Prolific, you know.
But always cheating with him.
You were cheating with...
Like, I wasn't with my baby father.
Okay.
I was with other people, and I was always cheating on them with him.
Wow.
You're in a relationship with other people, like actual relationship.
Yeah. I've been in a few relationships, and most, actually, I'm not even going to lie to you, every single relationship I've had since I was like 20 to 26, I have cheated on them with my baby father.
God bless the boys.
Why?
The men. Cricket.
What is he? There's two things here. It's either it's a feeling of safety or something like that, or like a, I don't know, some kind of connection.
Yeah, we just grew up together, and then it was very. He was a roadman. I was not from that life, and so everything was always very hidden, and so it kind of went with that, and then it got more and more toxic and abusive as it went on. So it's like ties, stopping seeing him and then going back to him and stopping.
Okay, so there's some kind of dysfunction there. She's got some kind of trauma bond there, where maybe prior to this man, this road man that she calls him, prior to picking him, she must have had a very erratic upbringing, you know, where maybe the parents weren't as consistent with their emotions and stuff like that. So maybe somehow dysfunction, you know, that pull away kind of relationship is something that she's very it's toxic, but even though it's dysfunctional, it was something that was normal for her growing up. So you end up picking people who mimic those situations, because in a way you're still trying to bridge that gap, you know, chase and somehow catch the love that you never got from your caregivers, you know, the love, affection, attention. You're trying to catch that somehow, and somehow this roadman was able to give that to her. Who knows, maybe it was because it was so early on in her years when she was forming, becoming a woman and all of that, and then he probably came there. So yeah, oh my, bless her, but bless them, the men that she cheated on the baby dad with. Yeah.
it and then going back to him. So it's a lot of that, even through abuse.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So these are the things. Like, I know that the guys asked her why. I wish they had just left the question open for her to actually answer why, because what she's given is just a scenario as in what was happening, but it isn't really a why, because she really doesn't know why she's picking that. Deep down she probably thinks that's all I know, that's all I can get, or there's some kind of safety here that I'm trying to chase. But I don't think she's sat there long enough to figure out the why. And the truth of the matter is, you can't do the work alone. You have to do it in a therapy office. You have to get professional help, and then surround yourself with a supportive system who will hold you accountable. Not necessarily say, oh, that's why do you keep going back? I don't know. And then it's like the next day you do the same thing.
But cheating, I look, I think, and also knowing women, I think a lot of women have done it and do it.
Oh, you see what she did there? You see what she did there? She was struggling to give us the answer. So then she was like, women as a collective, we are cheats. So that the heat goes off of her. But this is where we know she knows deep down what she's doing isn't right. Doesn't know how to go about, or doesn't want to know what to do differently. Why? Because other women cheat too. So why are we talking about mine? I'm no different from the other women who are cheating. But who does that help? That kind of logic or that mindset, it keeps you exactly the way you are, regurgitating the same, or should I say repeating the same patterns over and over again, and still thinking men are the problem. No, you are.
All of them do. And I do think there's something right in what you're saying, where women are more emotionally driven, and that's what drives them to look outside of what they have. But as I've gotten older and more kind of, I'm figuring out what it is I want. I think just because I can doesn't mean I will.
All right, guys. So there is so much to unpack from this clip.
Unpack it.
Right. So basically she confessed. First off, I want to give the chick props, right? I want to give her props for telling us that she basically cheated on every single guy from the ages 22, 26. She's basically cheated on every boyfriend who she's had with the father of her children, right? Her baby daddy. Now, let's look at that age range. She said around 26, she stopped doing that and started to kind of figure out what was the problem. That's around the epiphany phase. Epiphany phase is probably from around age 28 to 32, if I'm not mistaken. It could be earlier.
Before you continue, I think what she said was that's when she figured out what she wanted. She wants now, you know. And I think as women, we need to understand that our past has everything, or will somehow come back into our future if it is left unchecked. You can't do all of that, be a mess, and not seek any therapy, professional help, look at your traumas, find out why you cope the way you're coping, you know, going back to him. If we aren't able to go under the hood of the car, and then all of a sudden we think time is what heals us. No, time is just there. It has nothing to do with the work that you have not done. So you can't just say, oh, with time, I then realize it's X, Y, and Z that I want. Yes, you can have all the wants that you want. You can have all the standards that you want, but you have to understand the mess that you come with. No one wants that, especially if you haven't sat down long enough to figure out why you are the way you are. Because the truth of the matter is, once you have attained the thing, you know, she looks pretty you know. So she probably will continue to get attention. She will continue to get affection from men. But the truth of the matter is she will suffocate those men because she hasn't done the work that needs, the necessary work that she needs to do in order to be a man's peace, because she herself hasn't learned to be a safe place for herself, you know. I want us to, ladies, I really want us to really pay attention. You know, I really want us to pay attention, because we can't just mess up in our prime, mess up in your whatever, and then all of a sudden you think time. Just because time or years have been added onto you, all of a sudden you're a wise sage. No amount of affirmations, no amount of anything will pull the wool over men's eyes. They are waking up. They are waking up, honestly. I love it though.
But it's around that age. Epiphany phase basically means where a woman starts to realize that she can no longer compete with women who are younger than her. So what does she do? She starts to reform. Women will often go back to church, start to change their lives. This is the age where a woman is usually getting worried. She's getting scared. Why? Because she's getting closer to that age 30, and she's realizing that she has to start prioritizing a long-term partner. And so
what's really happening is, throughout your whole prime, you've been shot up, done up, spun up. You got wounds everywhere, and you really think dashing a plaster here, i.e. affirmation, a plaster here, maybe getting some feminine clothes, a plaster here, maybe in the form of going to the gym and looking fit. But meanwhile, the blood, the wounds are gushing. They're gushing and oozing with pus and blood because you have not addressed them. In order to address the wound, you need to sit down, get some anesthesia. You know, you can't just anesthetize these things. You have to actually go to the hospital, i.e. go to a professional, get them to dig out the wound, mate. Get all the infections out before they sew it up. They sew it up by giving you an action plan, you know, for you to put in place so that those wounds can heal, because what? You're always going to be triggered. But a lot of us are moving with open wounds, with a plaster of affirmation here, a plaster of manifestation here. It's not going to work. That's why relationships, or should I say, that's why your relationships or our relationships fail, because we have failed first to look within us and to look inside our wounds and address them. We're just slapping stuff on top and we're hoping that it will stick. It's not going to stick.
This makes sense. All of this makes sense. Now, tracking back a little bit, I want to talk about why a lot of men within this space often advise against dating single mothers. And listen, guys, there are many reasons why men should avoid dating single mothers. And one of the main reasons why men should avoid dating single mothers is because of this. She said she's cheated on every boyfriend that she's had with her baby daddy.
Before Chichi Zed gets into that, I know for me, when I first came to the realization that I now fit a stigma, or I fit a statistic of being a single mother. Oh my days, that day was a very dark day for me. I cried all because I came across a video that was titled "Never Date a Single Mother," and I was like, wow, that is me. This title, I am single mother. Now let me go and click it and see why men don't want to date single mothers. Now this was just fresh out of my divorce. I was already going through all the trauma that I was going through, and then somehow I came across, I think it was Coach Red Pill, Yeah, I spoke to one of my friends about the male, one of my male friends, and he was like, "Whoa!" I think he's called Coach Redfield. Yeah, he was like, "Oh, you were thrown in the deep end. YouTube was trying to do something there," and it literally opened a whole wound. And I cried. It was a mourning phase for me, mourn. I had to grieve the fact that now I'd become a statistic, or I'd become a stigma, or I'd become a something that I never thought I'd be. You go into marriage wanting to work it out, wanting to make it to the end. But then if one person decides that this is no longer for me, what can you then do when you're abandoned? What can you do? There's no longer that union for you to work towards, because there's no other person to work towards it with. Anyway, I remember when I listened to the things and I kept thinking to myself, that's not me. That's not me. I want the man to have peace. I want this, that, and the other. And it's like I was shouting at the screen, and I was like, okay, Jemima, okay, Jemima, okay, Jemima. Because this is it. Women, when I tell you to identify your triggers, it's okay to have your triggers, but try to understand why you're triggered and try to see if there's something you can learn from that experience. The feelings were so overwhelming, and like I could not eat, I could not sleep, all because I was a single mother. I had just found out. It's as if I didn't know I was a single mother. Because so much was going on. This is like a testimony. So much was going on. I had not realized that as much as I was a single parent doing the best that I could for my child or our child, I was a single mother. And this is the message out there, that do not date someone who is a single mother. Now, after I filtered everything through my emotions, I'm a very objective person, and I try to be as logical as possible because I apply a lot of curiosity. I speak to the men in my life a lot, and men, I love male content creators, so I get into their heads to find out what it is that they're really saying. So as much as they're saying do not date single mothers X, Y, and Z, what they are also saying is the single mothers that fit this criteria do X, Y, and Z. So if you find yourself as a single mother and you still want to be married, you still want to build a life with a man and have children, there is so much work for you to do, because you will have to jump through the first thing, which is what you are. And that is a single mother. That's not something you can take off. It's not a coat you can put on and off. You are a single mother. However, that doesn't mean that's all you are. Do not get distracted too much. When you're in your feelings, process your feelings, and then after that, accept that not all men, or most men will want to be with you, and that's okay. Because truth be told, most women don't want to be with single fathers, okay? So I think the first thing is to acknowledge that this is where my circumstances have brought me. If you're like me, let's say you picked poorly, you have to accept that based off of my bad choices, I didn't contribute to them in the sense of them leaving. However, this is where I'm at. And I have to understand that most men won't want that. And it doesn't mean men are bad. Women, it doesn't mean those men are bad. It just means they do not have the capacity to be the things that you need them to be in those moments. And that is okay. Okay? Literally, do not get distracted, but I do need you to accept that fact. And the other thing is, your children or your child cannot be an asset straight away to such a man who decides to take on the role. Ladies, I say that with all love. It doesn't mean that your child is a liability in and of itself, okay? I'm saying that when the man is coming in, all they are seeing is not the smile on the child's face or, oh, this is a bouncing baby boy. No, they are seeing this child as another mouth to feed, because men are logical. They're thinking about I have to be a responsible man. And now if I'm coming into this place, into this space, it's not just her. This child is going to be a liability. So they have to think about a lot of things. So you need to be able to extend grace and not move with all this entitlement that no, you accept me and you accept you're going to chase the man away. And then it goes to the next point. I'll pause it because I really wanted to double down on these points. The next thing is, ladies, I need you to face your past. If your ex-husband, if your ex-boyfriend or the baby father isn't someone who wants to co-parent, you need to come to terms with that, you know? Have a positive mindset about that. Shift it from blaming the person for not making it work or wanting to make it work. Shift it from that to what is important. What is important is you are where you're at. You have these traumas, whatever, mindsets that are so rigid, whatever, you know, thinking patterns that will become problematic if left unchecked, you know. Go to therapy. Find a supportive system around you who can hold you accountable, especially if you're like this lady over here and you keep going back to the past and still thinking you're trying to become better. You're not trying to become better because you haven't first addressed the wound. Okay, so ladies, I need you to heal. Get help and heal by being honest with yourself. And being honest with yourself is holding that mirror to your face and saying, okay, I picked poorly based off of X, Y, and Z, you know, and next time I need to ensure that X, Y, and Z is done before I, you know, move forward. But that's like the surface. To really get under the hood of the car is to get therapy, because I feel like we need to get into the mindset where we're like, you know what? These were my patterns. These are the things that I'm doing to cope with those patterns. And these are the things I need to do to get myself out of that rut. And I would advise to do that in a therapy office, because I think it will become a safer place to peel back all of those layers, because it can be a dark place to be, you know. I know, like, when I was like coming into the realization as to why I picked who I did, it was quite, you know, it was quite upsetting. It was quite challenging, because I was like, oh, so that's why, you know, I went for this instead of going for the best for me, you know. Why did I feel like I didn't deserve someone who was good for me? Why? I needed to ask myself that, and I needed to find out, or should I say pinpoint, where in my upbringing I built up or I was conditioned to believe these things, you know. That's why I advise that therapy is the best place to start, you know. And then once you have done all that work, understand that you will still be triggered by new circumstances. You will still be triggered by people, you know. Triggers are part of life. But once you start practicing addressing them, becoming more self-aware, you won't start bleeding on everyone who comes into your life. And then you can truly submit, you can truly trust, you can truly love, like, openly, without all these like, ooh, I'll do this if you do that, da, 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 da. And also, the most important thing I would say, going into another relationship where you have a child, and let's say the man doesn't have a child, ladies, please learn to appreciate other people correcting and disciplining your children. I know for me, since the divorce, my mum was there, my brothers were there, and church family as well. And the way my church is set up, if you're Ghanaian, you know about the Ghanaian church. Everyone is your mum, everyone is your dad. Therefore, your child is also their child. So everyone can correct or discipline your child. So this wasn't something that was difficult for me, but I know that is something that a lot of women struggle with. Why? Because when I watch Kevin Samuels content and these single mothers come on there, or baby mothers come on there, and it's like, no, you can't tell my child this, that, and other, and my child this, and then my child comes before you, and this, and other. And I'm thinking, do you actually want to be with a man again? You know, you might as well be with your child then, you know, and then stay in your corner and not come worry someone. So if the mindset is, no, I want you to come in, I want all of you, but when it comes to the child, it's only my child or my way rules. If that is still the mindset, there's some processing to be done, because there are probably some control issues, trust issues. You don't really trust the person you're picking. Then the question is, why are you picking them again? Because you're then going to reproduce with them again and then go into another relationship with two people. So yeah, wow, I stopped that for time, but I really need to get that out there. So let's continue.
Most likely, he was that alpha type. She will always be connected to her baby daddy. If women decide to reproduce with the man, in most cases,
my battery.
Because she sees that man as alpha.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to end it here because my son is here and the background noise will be a lot. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming. So take care and God bless. Bye-bye. Hey, Bobby.